Thursday night, the Blues opened their 47th season fast and furious by potting 3 goals in the first 10 minutes en route to a 4-2 win over division rival Nashville. Tonight, it's their first look at the East in nearly 2 years as they welcome the Florida Panthers, whose team is built on youth and speed, and feature the NHL's number 2 overall pick, Alexander Barkov. Game 2 is headed your way next. And for the second straight year, the Blues look to win their first 2 in the regular season. Yaroslav Halak, lifetime against the Panthers, sterling numbers 7-1. Tim Thomas sat out all of last year. Of course, won the Cup with the Boston Bruins a couple of years ago. Blues hockey brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And for the Blues, it is Berglund, Schwartz, and Tarasenko with Leopold and Shattenkirk on defense. And a shot by Mathias is up high. Sean Mathias out there with Jesse Winchester and Thomas Kopechki. Puck in front, rebound. They bang away. And a couple of whacks. Where is it in that mass of humanity? And we get a whistle.
That's very aggressive play by Yaroslav Halak, holding the goal line and making sure, because the Florida Panthers are off to a good start. Sean Mathias picked off an errant pass, went in there the first time around, and now he and Kopechki end up in front of the net. And after it gets whacked and hacked around, that was a terrific save with the left hand, the first one on Mathias. And then you've got Jesse Winchester. This line was very good in their game against Dallas in their victory in their opener, but Jaro Halak was brilliant, making 28 saves in his first game 2 nights ago against Nashville.
And now it is Gotch, the former Shark, at center against Steen. It is Gotch, Versteeg, and Thomas Fleischmann. And as Darren said, this line was real good the other night in Dallas as the Panthers outshot the Stars 39-27. At one time trailed in the third period, but came back and won it. And they showed some real good composure and some good speed. Number 7 is Dmitry Kulikov. Missed most of the game the other night with a game misconduct after engaging in a fight after another altercation had already taken place.
Yeah, I watched that closely. Mike Weaver was in a scrap. They were almost simultaneous. I was very surprised that he got that call and played under 4 minutes in the game, as you mentioned.
Number 44, Eric Gudbranson, parks it back to the Florida Panther goal. Watched by Morrow. In the corner for Ryan Whitney, of course, was on a PTO in camp with the Blues. And signed late with the Panthers. Now the Blues get it. Here they come. Roy up the middle. For Morrow, a shot up high and a save by Thomas. And no rebound.
Well, good save there by Thomas. He stayed upright and maintained positioning extremely well there on Morrow. But it brings us now to our keys to the game, brought to you by Toyota. Going places. Patience with the puck against Tim Thomas. He can get overzealous at times. You want to hold on to it. Don't just jam it into him. And certainly, as you had already mentioned, John, respect the Panthers' speed. They're a good team. It's kind of an eclectic little group they've put together there. But there's some high-end hockey players with good hockey sense.
And here's our old friend, Brad Boyce.
That's going to be a penalty there on Morrow.
On a back check and a delayed call against the Blues. And now Roy touches back of the goal. And the Panthers will get a power play, a slashing penalty on Morrow.
A little bit of a whack right there for Brendan Morrow coming back into his own zone.
St. Louis, 10, 2-minute slash.
Johnny Bear, the referee, making the call there. So the first power play of the game will go to the Florida Panthers. The Blues penalty kill was exceptional. There's the call right there on Boys. Going 4 for 4 against Nashville.
And the Panthers were 0 for 4 in their game in Dallas. As Brian Campbell keeps it in. Slides it back of the goal. Jackson works the puck away from Gomez. And the Blues shoot it down the ice. Up front it is Steen and Backes with Pietrangelo and Jackman on defense. Puck to center. And handled by the longest serving St. Louis Blue, Barrett Jackman, in game number 646. That is 5th most in Blues history. 17 shy of Gary Unger. Now the Panthers to center ice for Sneed, lobs it in. And a lock almost got caught back there. It comes to Pollock. Up the boards for Lapierre, and he tips it, and it goes by Gilbert back to center ice. And now Tom Gilbert, who was on a PTO in camp for the Florida Panthers.
A couple of PTOs on, boys, and certainly Gilbert. They've been given a prime opportunity. There's a lot of skilled players, and if you're able to make a play, this is a pretty good place to end up. This is one player to watch, though, John and Bernie, is that Brian Campbell. He's good at knocking pucks out of the air. He's got great transition. He's the leader on the power play.
And can he skate?
He's a fourth forward out here at all times, not only in the power play, but I really noticed a difference here. What a difference. And the Panthers were so aggressive on the forecheck, and now that they've got the power play, it seems that the Blues are so much more composed now.
Hey, Bernie, on that last shift, you like the way Steen got in there on the forecheck, even though they're shorthanded?
Absolutely. You know what? Let's not forget about the big goal he scored against the Kings last year in the playoffs with the forecheck.
Yep, doing the same thing.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's a great idea to get on top of the goaltender, especially as goaltenders don't expect to be forechecked out there, especially on the power play.
And he just did it again and forced Tim Thomas to fire that puck off the boards.
And now it rolls back to Barrett Jackman. Holding on the back as he'll tip it in. 20 to go in the minor to Brendan Morrow. And going for a skate is Jonathan Huberdeau, the 20-year-old who won the Calder last year. Broke it up by Berglund. And nothing doing on this power play for the Panthers. Kulikov reverses now for Huberdeau. And Morrow is back, so another solid kill by the Blues. As Kulikov works in. Lost it to one-time Panther Jordan Leopold. And then Shattenkirk to center ice. Berglund wide open is Oshie. He cuts in, stops, and a shot and a save by Thomas. And a big scramble in front as the Blues go to the net.
Berglund went right on top of Tim Thomas, and that fight we were talking about in Dallas between Mike Weaver and then Kulikov got involved. It all started with a skirmish like that, and Tim Thomas took his stick and gave a pretty aggressive whack to one of the Dallas Stars players. But here's the play by Oshie. Buys some time, pulls up, and it's a good quick shot with Morrow driving hard to the net. Berglund lost his balance and ends up right on top of the goaltender. But Oshie's off to a very good start, and nice to see him. That's a big moment wearing an A on your sweater, as he did in Game 1.
And off the faceoff, Stewart, a backhander goes wide. Oshie missed 15 games last year with that injured foot, and feels great this year. After 3-2 for the Panthers, no score. And Shattenkirk delays a bit. Now for Roy. And that pass picked off by Scotty Upshall. And his backhander is well wide of the Blues goal. Gomez tips one of the line. Whitney can't hold it in. And now Morrow, nice pass ahead. And then walked in by Leopold. And a shot, and that got through again. And Thomas makes the save.
And again, good puck control right there by Thomas. No big juicy rebound. And we'll take a look again about the what we've got here with Alex Steen coming in on the forecheck. Now this is while the Blues are shorthanded, so he forces Tim Thomas to play that along the boards. And the first time around when he did that, the same thing happened. So there, Steen knows that when he goes in there first, David Backes will back him up. And then Steen rolls out of the offensive zone down deep, and then he comes into the middle. So they've got layers of attack even while shorthanded.
Steen missed practice yesterday after taking a stick to the face the other night. Blues get the puck in front. Oh, Reeves was in the area, but it never got on goal. Scotty Upshall. Cross corner dump in for Jesse Winchester. And then gobbled up by Chris Barch. He did not play the other night, the former Dallas Star. Barch is in the lineup tonight. And Bouwmeester tries to get it away from Winchester. And Bouwmeester, the longtime Panther. The coach, when he first started as a 19-year-old, was Mike Keenan. And the puck played to center ice. Here's Campbell back for the Panthers.
Great move behind the net there by Pietrangelo. Boy, he's confident right now. Handling the puck, little toe drag. Gets away from the oncoming forechecker, gets out of the zone.
And Pietrangelo knocks it down. The puck kept in, though. Here comes Gotch. And Gotch fans on that shot. Probably should have shot it earlier. And now back around the goal for Steen. Lost the handle. Steen slows it down, plays it back with his own goal. But right to Gotch. And then Versteeg picks it up. On the line to Mike Weaver. Kulikov. And the bank play off the end board. Puck in front. Too tight an angle there for Fleischmann. Across the seam. Oh, and a save there. We're at the back of the goal. That was Versteeg on the one-timer. But you're right, that was a heck of a feed across the seam. Now Backes ahead. And then Steen down the boards against Weaver. To the line, good holding by Jackman for Polak. fakes it. And now a wrist shot. And it's blocked in front. I'm not sure if it got to Thomas or not. And then elevated back to center by Gosh. And both clubs make changes here. Jackman for Tarasenko, who said he was nervous the other night on opening night. He said he wasn't nervous last year. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm sure the nerves will settle tonight. As Whitney comes in through the net. Jackman there, all over Brad Boyes, and then on to Berglund.
I think last year was just naive, youthful enthusiasm. Jumps right in there from Russia, playing in the KHL since he was 16. And, you know, knowing what it takes to be an everyday player in the NHL probably caused a little bit of nerves. And there's depth at the forward position, so there's always pressure to perform every night because you know someone else can jump in there.
And Tarasenko admitted he hit a wall last year.
Yes, he did.
After playing in the KHL during the lockout. And, of course, that injury did not hurt as well as the Blues to center ice. And Berglund gets it into the zone for Jaden Schwartz. And then Berglund again. On the forecheck, there's Kevin Shattenkirk up the ice. Gets it free to the youngster Schwartz. And a centering pass tipped away by Boyes and back to center ice. 7:20 gone, first period, no score.
That's part of that reckless energy that Ken Hitchcock wants with Shattenkirk. He's there in the offensive zone and taking a chance.
And a chance here for the Panthers. Another penalty called. And it's against the Blues as the Panthers had a 2-on-1. And a tripping call, I believe, on St. Louis.
Well, Chris Stewart is going to go off for tripping, so back-to-back minor penalties to the Blues will test the penalty kill. Our Plaza Tire Service replay shows one hand on the stick, swipes it over there, and the Alaskan-born native Scotty Gomez goes down. Gomez scored in the opener. That's a good save by Halak right there. A tough one. You got to handle that. And a lot of times people think, well, why doesn't that stay in the webbing? Well, a lot of times you're just trying to stop the puck at one particular point, especially with the defenseman's stick right there. Good job fighting that one off.
And the Blues win the face-off, but kept in by Gilbert. Now it is fired down the ice by Jackman. Panthers did not get a shot on their first power play. Here's Gilbert. Down the boards for Fleischmann, broken up. And then Pietrangelo hands it on to Jackman. And he'll drill it 200 feet all the way down the ice. And it's Brian Campbell again. Played about 28 minutes the other night in Dallas. He is a workhorse. And then Fleischmann works it in for Versteeg. Campbell winds up and fires it just wide with Gomez driving the spot and creating some traffic in front. And now Vladdy Sobotka, who had a heck of a goal the other night. Panthers keep it in. Gilbert for Campbell. And then Gilbert again. Omister comes over. And the puck to the line. Good keep in there. Gilbert for Campbell. Through a seam. Gomez to the front for Versteeg. And he couldn't handle the pass. Good puck control by the Panthers. Campbell again. And then Gilbert for Campbell, Versteeg one-timer. And that was the 9-iron, and that was too high instead of the driver from the near wing.
Now that puck is really bobbling right there. Never laid flat at all, Bernie, during that whole time for Florida.
Yeah, Banger. I mean, this is a huge advantage right now. The puck is bouncing all over the place. So great passes by the Panthers. And when the ice is like this, when the puck's bouncing, you know, the Blues being very aggressive, too, on the penalty kill. That's what you have to do.
Now 25 to go in the Florida Panther power play as Jackman gets it. And up the boards for Oshie very calmly. Clears it on the backhand to center ice.
Good job by Jackman fighting off that big Barkov right there. And Barkov thought he had the puck, and then Jackman does a nice job of lifting the stick and stripping him from the puck.
And here are the Panthers marching right back in. Boyes to the corner. Backes comes back. And again, no shot. The Blues back at full strength. Stewart down to the box. So another good solid kill by the Blues. And Shattenkirk scrambled back. Now for Roy. Up the middle. Here comes Stewart. And he lost it at the line, but Morrow thought he could hold it in, but he was knocked down by Huberdeau. And Gosh comes in for the Florida Panthers. It's Kopechki to the end boards against Leopold. And the Blues working away. Roy now for Morrow. Shattenkirk walks up ice. There's no opening for him, so he dumps it in. And Thomas, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner back in 2011, works it all the way down the ice. And then played by Halak for Jackman. Under 10 to play first period. Now Morrow. And again it goes to Thomas. To the veteran Whitney. And then Upshaw will feed up the middle. Good positioning play there by the Blues to break it up. Good. And now taken by Matthias. Thrown in not very deep. Jackman again. Wide open Tarasenko. Down his off wing. Tarasenko on Campbell. Drops it off Pollock. And a blast. And that was just wide. He got a lot on that one. Tip to the corner now for Sabotka. In against Chris Park. Stolen in front. Tarasenko can't get a shot. Now Pollock comes in. Quick drive. And that goes wide. Romans had a couple of chances here.
And Tarasenko is continuing what he left off in game one. Started slowly, popped up some pucks that he didn't like, and that might be too many men on the ice. No, it's not. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be too many men on the ice for the Blues. Huh, Bernie? Tarasenko is jumping on the bench. Player jumped off, and Tarasenko played the puck. We'll sort things out when we come back. Too many men on the ice for Ken Hitchcock and the Blues. Unforced error, and let this one roll right here, and we'll let you know how this works out. And right about here, we'll stop it here, and stop it here. This is Tarasenko, and here we go here, and there's one here, and there's one over here, which is Pietrangelo right there. And as it turns out, Tarasenko is just about to go to the bench, Bernie. He kind of panics, sees the puck, turns around and plays it, but his man's already on the ice.
Yeah, you can't. When you called your number to the guy who's coming off for you, you got to get up. You can't wait.
And you can't touch the puck when you're almost off.
He turned around and played it. That's a cardinal sin there.
Yeah, and that was, and Pietrangelo was all the way on the far side. We couldn't even see him in that pitch.
And a penalty called again. And a high stick. This one will go against the Panthers.
Well, the Blues will end up getting an abbreviated power play. Scotty Gomez looking at the referee, maybe saying
Florida, 23, 2 minutes, high stick.
high sticking call on the veteran Gomez. Keep your eye on that stick. Just goes up right there with one hand on his stick. I mean, clearly the shaft of the stick catches the earbud right there of Barrett Jackman. No question there. You still have to be responsible for your stick. It looked like Gomez wasn't even aware that it hit him in the head.
Similar to the play that Bartley got called the double minor the other night on Steen. He didn't mean to do it, but again, you must be in control of your stick.
Steen lost two chiclets on the play as well. On that play, and that's why yesterday he wasn't at practice, wasn't skating. He was getting some dental work done.
But always good to win an opening night and a great pregame ceremony, and a bit of a shutout, Darren, to all the game night entertainment folks, including Lamont Buford, Chris Fromey, and Andrew Abrams. They did a heck of a job with that performance.
They were absolutely outstanding. It was a world-class event. A lot of energy in the building. Fans were great. And the team responded. And I thought you were good too.
Well, thank you,
Bernie?
partner. Thank you.
Bernie,
Sensational is the word.
I thought J.K. brought his A game right off the hop.
Sensational.
I think our entire crew, headed by Tim Pabst on the production truck, did a great job. Rebounded. Thomas makes that save on Steen. And again, Thomas very aggressive at the top of the paint. And that is his M.O. He is a very aggressive goaltender.
Yeah, there's a method to the way that Tim Thomas plays. And again, he gets down in a real good structural butterfly. And you can see that Bouwmeester jumps in. The wave of attack is led by two defensemen. And Steen's there. He skates by it. There's a little bit of a second attempt at it. But again, the position of Tim Thomas was very good. I think when you've been around the game a little bit and you come back, there's a certain calmness that you have in that net. And he showed that in Dallas the other night, and he's showing it early on here. But the Blues haven't tested him nearly hard enough yet in this hockey game.
Well, they will now. Matthias has gone for hooking a 4-on-3 for 72 seconds. But the Panthers win the faceoff. And Weaver fires it down the ice. For the Blues, Shattenkirk and Pietrangelo. Up front, Berglund and Stewart. It goes to Berglund on this 4-on-3. Now across for Pietrangelo. Blues were 2 for 4 the other night. Pietrangelo fakes it now to Shattenkirk. And then Berglund again, very patiently back to Pietrangelo. A shot, and that was blocked by a Panther stick and broken half. That was Gotcha's stick, so they only have 2 players, not counting the goalie with sticks. Berglund gets it. for Shattenkirk to Pietrangelo, a shot, and that was blocked. What a play by Weaver.
Oh, good keep in there by Shattenkirk.
And here are the Blues again. Shattenkirk, Pietrangelo, backdoor to Berglund. It was there, but tipped at the last second. And the Panthers, Gudbranson fires it off the boards down the ice. And now Gotch is replaced up front by Kopechki. With 10 to go in the 4-on-3. Pietrangelo in for Morrow. Under the reach of Roy, and now picked up by Campbell and played off the far boards and all the way down the ice.
Just started with a pass that was just off the mark, and that's those little details right there. Just because of that, the Blues aren't able to get in there and have control in the offensive zone.
And now Roy hits the line for Backes, and a shot, and there's Thomas. And has it in his pad, I believe. And we get a stoppage in play. Let's go down to Bernie.
You know, guys, this is the hardest part after just a preseason. You've only had one game played. You don't really have a lot of time to practice a 5-on-3 or a 4-on-3 this early in the season. So this was kind of a tough one. I like what they did in the 4-on-3, at least getting the one man through the middle, a couple of good shots, but that was not a really an ill-advised shot by David Backes there, especially with now only 4 seconds left on this 5-on-3.
Yeah, brief 5-on-3. Berglund gets it. And a shot by Shattenkirk, and Thomas got over. And now the Panthers get one man back.
Well, that just shows the hockey sense, too, of Tim Thomas. I mean, he was aware of the man to his right, which was Shattenkirk. And you see Berglund looking the whole time at passing it. And as a goaltender, you're seeing his position, and you're knowing that he's not going to shoot the puck. So right away, Thomas slides right over to his right. He gets in a good butterfly, and there was nothing for Shattenkirk to shoot at right there. I thought Berglund was in a prime opportunity to fire that puck right in the middle of the ice. That's the scariest time for a goaltender.
And the Panthers win a faceoff. Gotch gets it back, and Gilbert pounds it down the ice with 20 to go in the Blues power play. And now Morrow off the boards. Nice pass to Stewart. Straight feet in front. Rebound. They score! Brendan Morrow! His first goal is a Blue, and it's a beauty.
Well, Kate Hitchcock said he wanted 2 guys over the goalie. Don't skate by potential rebounds, stops and starts, and Brendan Morrow gets his 250th career NHL goal, and it comes as a member of the Blues. A terrific pass right there by Morrow to start things off. Saucer pass by Stewart. The shot to save the rebound, and Morrow is here after Roy is denied. Our Plaza Tire Service replay, get it up, and he does in the net under the bar.
So Morrow is first as a Blue at 13:58, and the Blues a power play goal.
That was a nice little pass by Stewart, wasn't it? They had speed in the neutral zone. Because of the nice little pass by Morrow off the board, Stewart's able to skate into it. He kept that one leg onside. It makes a great play.
Now the Blues back at full strength of the Panthers as Sabotka does a 360 in the corner away from Whitney. To the line to Jackman, and that shot is gloved by Tim Thomas. It is Morrow, the newest Blue, from Roy and Stewart. 1-0, good guys.
Well, the best hockey game is in stores now. EA Sports NHL 14. You can lace up the skates and gritty game on like the Blues' newest winger, Brendan Morrow. Let's take a closer look at Brendan Morrow. 852 hard-earned NHL games, and he's got his first goal as a member of the St. Louis Blues. Dallas captain from 07 to 11, won Olympic gold with Ken Hitchcock and Mike Babcock and the rest of the staff in Vancouver.
And he gives the Blues a 1-0 lead. A shot from the left side by Ryan Reeves. And that is turned aside. It goes out of play.
Good set play again off the faceoff. And we saw that in Game 1 against Nashville. How many times that ended up in goals. This is a good set play, and it's just went off the skate for Ryan Reeves, who got himself in a good position.
Blues using the same lineup they employed the other night. The scratches Ian Cole, Magnus Payarvi, and Adam Crackle. Now the Panthers on the attack. Ends up back of the goal for Mathias. Wrap around, came in front, and Winchester had a pretty good chance. There's a great example there of those nets and how you can move out from behind the goal and get a pretty good chance. And then again, snapped in by Winchester.
Great job by Steen, though, to cut the ice in half. He went right over the puck carrier Winchester and forced Winchester to just dump it in before he was going to get hit by Steen.
And Shattenkirk, a good pass up the middle for Backus. Tried to hit Reeves on the fly. Comes in front, Thomas. Tees it up for Gilbert. Steen got a piece of him. And then Backus got a big piece of back behind the play. And the Blues quickly back to center ice. Steen, nice feed into Oshie with some speed. Here's Oshie and a shot, and that may have grazed the post. I'm not sure. As the Panthers defense had to back in because Oshie had speed, and now it's ripped down the ice by Florida. Not all the way for icing. And then Leopold for Backus. On the attack is Morrow, the goal scorer. Little reverse hit there on Kulikov. And then Oshie with it again. And a shot, and that got through. Morrow said he learned that reverse hit from Peter Forsberg. All those meetings between Dallas and Colorado. And he said Forsberg taught him pet food. And he's learned pretty well.
Yes, he does. That was a big turning point in the last game. There's another big hit right there on Weaver, but a turning point in the last game when he had that reverse hit on Fisher. Then Fisher took the retaliatory penalty that results in the Blues power play goal.
And the Panthers and boys will flip it in deep. Barkov, the 18-year-old, can't make the play. The Blues clear it back to center ice. Panthers no shot for the last 8 minutes of this game. And the Blues on the Morrow goal with a 1-0 lead. And now Bouwmeester, and his pass for Tarasenko, and that is off the mark, and icing call. Well, Blues fans, next Wednesday's game against the Hawks will be a big one, and if you're here, you can help a great cause like Hockey Fights Cancer. Volunteers will be selling Lavender Blues pins throughout the night, and all proceeds will be given to the charity. For tickets, contact the Ford box office. That's Wednesday, the Hawks in town. The Stanley Cup champion. Should be a great night. And the Blues control the face-off. Face-offs the other night against Nashville were about even. And again, the Blues are guilty of an icing call.
Well, Ken Hitchcock going into this game knew that this had the potential to be a track meet. I think the coaching staff and the players of the Blues, it was ingrained in their head in the last day and a half that this is not a slow team. This is a team that can attack, they can play, they can handle the puck, and they'll take chances to get on the offensive side of it as well, so you got to be alert.
And a shot by Branson. That was well high. Comes in front. Upshaw rips it just wide. And Roy picked up an assist on that goal. And the puck out of play. So Roy with a couple of assists so far this season. There is Kevin Dineen in his third year behind the bench. The son of longtime NHL player and coach Billy Dineen. Bill was the scout for the Blues a couple of years ago, and they are a heck of a family, the Dineens.
Phenomenal family, and he played with his heart on his sleeve. Boy, Bernie,
Yes,
he was a tough competitor playing for the Hartford Whalers for the majority of his career.
Yeah, he was a real good player. Played both ends really hard.
A 19-year NHLer, Kevin Dineen. Now Kulikov, and that shot tipped in front. Matthias turns, had his pocket picked by Jackman, now forced to the corner by Jackman. And good work down low by the Blues, and Berglund on to center ice for Tarasenko. Nice stick work on Kulikov. And then Tarasenko was hit from behind and is forced to turn it over, and the puck trickles back to center ice. Jackman for Tarasenko. And he goes back for Pollock with 2:15 to go in the period. And Jackman off the boards for Max Lapierre. Bounces at the Florida line, played to center by Campbell. And now Sobotka's there in some tight quarters. And Campbell again, the one-time Blackhawk. Panthers have a new owner, Vinny Viola. And he was in the locker room the other night after their victory against the Dallas Stars. And the players just love this guy, Vinny Viola. A new atmosphere in South Florida. Puck back of the goal.
U.S. Army Ranger.
Yes, he was. Went to West Point, did Viola. And just bought the club the other day. How about Brendan Morrow? He doesn't care where the goals are scored.
No, he doesn't, does he? Home, 125, road, 120. But what's most amazing is stand the man. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, doesn't matter where you are. Stan, 1,815 hits on the road and at home. Phenomenal.
And we all miss him to this day. What a legend he was on and off the field in this city. Here's Huberdeau, his pass in front. And now Backus breaks it up. And that was knocked down with a high stick by Oshie.
Forget opening night for the Blues last year following the lockout. The day that Stan the man passed away and the Blues end up remarkably scoring 6 goals in that win to open up the season.
And wouldn't it be something if the Cards could win a World Series? Another one?
Yes, it would.
Tied 1-1 in their best of 5. Game 3 tomorrow. Here's Pietrangelo. In the final minute now. Steen worked over by Mike Weaver. Weaver had a heck of a night the other night in Dallas, including a fight. Steen back on the goal. Tried to get it in front, but was denied and upended. And it goes to Huberdeau, the 20-year-old.
And then he got hit hard by David Backus along the boards.
Now Oshie's pass hit a skate. Panthers have to wait as Brad Boyes was in the zone. Now blasted in by Gomez. And Roy back to get it for Pietrangelo. Center ice for Oshie. In the final 25 here, Bouwmeester almost ran into his own player. Keeps on going, though. And now is stripped of the puck, and Gomez has it. Here's Gomez on man rush. Upshaw drops it off. Puck in front as the Blues made an ill-advised change there, and it nearly burned him.
Bernie, TJ Oshie went right by. He went for a line change, and otherwise it would have been a 2-on-2. He goes for a change. No one jumped on into 2-on-1.
And no one said anything from the bench. Everybody was watching, yet I think that was one too many passes by the Panthers, too, because that was a great scoring opportunity. They didn't even get a shot.
Shots in the first period, 14-6 in favor of the Blues. And again, the special teams, like they were the other night, very important. The Blues get the only goal in the power play, the goal scored by Brendan Morrow. Let's go to Pat Paris.
All right, J.K. Panger, thank you very much. Of course, coming up momentarily, it is the SAPOD GM Country Intermission Report. We'll talk with Chris Stewart. Also, we'll tell you what's on tap for the Blues. And Andy Strickland will join us and talk a little bit more about an interesting week it was for Brendan Morrow. And, of course, Brendan Morrow gets his first goal as a Blue tonight on the power play. And it's his 250th of his career. That's all coming up next on SAPOD GM Country Intermission Report. Blues may be outplayed at times during this first period, but they have a one-goal lead on the Florida Panthers after 20 minutes of play. Stay with us on Fox Sports Midwest.
Brendan Morrow, a power play goal, and the Blues with a 1-0 lead over the Panthers. John and Darren back in the broadcast booth here at 320. You know that I love smart, versatile hockey players, and I think Alexander Steen fits the bill very well.
You like them because your dad liked them.
Well,
no question.
He was
you
a
were
smart
influenced
guy.
by a great man. No question about it. And is there a better two-way forward in the National Hockey League than Alex Steen? He's hard on the puck. He was all over the place in that first period, whether it be on the PK or cutting the ice in half by getting to the forechecker, getting to the puck carrier, bowling over players. Hard to play against. Last year, he led the Blues with 129 shots on goal. He's going to be there again this year. Never, ever does he give up on a play.
All right, underway here in the second period. Blues hockey brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Here we go.
Blues are at full strength. As Gomez gets it to center ice. Ripped back in by Shattenkirk. And now Kopechny for the Florida Panthers to Gomez. And then Kulikov drops it back for Weaver. That's picked off by J.D. Schwartz. And it's into the blue zone. Shattenkirk turns. Again on defense with Leopold. They played together quite a bit last year as the Blues went 12-3 down the stretch after picking up Leopold from Buffalo. And now Schwartz to center ice. Backus, far side for Oshie. Feathers it through. Oh, and Pietrangelo is robbed by Thomas. Great chance there for Pietrangelo.
What a save with the left pad.
And now the Panthers. And Versteeg to center. Another former Blackhawk. I think their general manager had a pretty big influence as he built the Blackhawks Cup team a few years ago and then moved on to Florida.
And get big buff there.
Yeah.
Dustin Byfuglien.
Big buffs in Winnipeg. Centering pass for Backes. Good short pass there for Stewart. Now the Panthers take over, and they clear it too high out of play. It was tipped, so we get a whistle.
Jaden Schwartz stayed on for an extended part of the shift there, and he makes a real smart play there to Backes. Backes rips it over to the far side, and a buttery little pass by TJ Oshie to Alex Pietrangelo. This is a nice little heel-to-toe saucer right over Campbell's stick. Pietrangelo now goes to the forehand, tries to elevate it, not high enough. If it's under the bar, if it's bar down, it's probably a goal on Bernie, but Thomas did a great job of getting that left pad there.
Yeah, really good play there. Unfortunately, couldn't get it high enough, but I think the puck maybe was bouncing a little bit. He wasn't able to corral it.
And the Panthers ice it, but it's on goal, so Jarl must play that. And now Pollock has it for the Blues. Shots in the game, 16-6 for the Blues. Roy tips it in. And Thomas goes for a skate toward Branson. On the forecheck, Roy comes in to create some havoc. And then Boys will steer it back to Branson. Up the middle now, Barkov. Just turned 18. Did Alexander Barkov, the second overall pick.
Youngest to score a goal since January 8th of 1944 when Peter Kennedy did it.
That's amazing.
It is.
Here comes Whitney. Again in a trial with the Blues in camp. And now Halak sets it up for Pollock. Good short pass for LaPierre. On for Leopold. And then Reeves gets a piece of this one. Big hit on Kulikov from behind. And the puck back on the goal. Barch is wiped out by LaPierre. Puck in front, but the Blues can't capitalize. And Matthias off the board now for Winchester. Back to Matthias. He pulls up. And on the back check, there's Ryan Reeves to intercept it. And then Mike Weaver a shot. And that was blocked in front by Leopold.
Good strong play there by Leopold. And he had Winchester all over him.
And Reeves chops it onto center ice. And it comes back to Weaver once again. And he hammers it around the boards. Hits the seam of the glass, goes right to Shattenkirk. And the Blues have possession. Quickly to center ice, long stretch pass. And now LaPierre gets it. The former Canuck drives it back to the goal. In on the forecheck is Schwartz. On with Tarasenko and Berglund. Campbell trying to make a play. Gives it up. Here's Schwartz, and that puck was rolling. And he fired it wide. And then Berglund again for Schwartz. Works on Upshaw. Schwartz so strong in the corners. Down to Tarasenko. Upended. Pietrangelo follows up. And he circles the wagons. Hands it back to Bouwmeester. And then Pietrangelo in the deep slot. Berglund a shot, and that got through and a save by Thomas. Good chance there. Great setup here. Oh, and Schwartz's pass bounced a bit. Now Pietrangelo. Hard feet in front. And good pressure by this Berglund line. Bouwmeester could not hold it in. The Blues have to clear the zone.
I've been very impressed with Patrick Berglund's start to the season. Bernie, really mature play, finishing checks, more on the physical side, but it's almost like he's saying, I got a couple of young kids on my wing, and he's no old goat either. But he's looking like he's taking it upon himself and playing with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, he comes back deep. I really like that. And also, he's really hanging onto the puck a lot more than he normally would. You know, he's showing some more patience with the puck.
And a drive by Pietrangelo missed the target. And off those active end boards here at Scott Trade. And Jackman backpedaling for the Blues. Shots 3-0 Blues here in the second period. The only goal by Morrow on the power play in the first. Now Steen gets it away from Branson. And then getting back to help out is Thomas Fleischmann. And Fleischmann out of center ice to Whitney. And his pass. That was out of the reach of Gott. And controlled by Pollock. Risky feed there up the middle. Nearly picked off by Fleischmann, who now mishandles it. And Morrow is up the ice for the Blues with Oshie. Here's Morrow in. Odd man rush for Pollock and a hard shot right on goal, and a save by Thomas. And then the Panthers on the counter. Tossed in by Fleischmann. Jackson, the first man back. Barkov there to intercept. Now the puck free on the far side, and Brad Boyce gets it back. Here's Boyce for Weaver. Two former Blues, and a shot. Pinballs around in front. It never did get to Halak. And the puck on the line held in by Weaver. And Huberdeau fires it off a skate. And now it's to the line. Kulikov, rolling shot, saved by Halak with the right skate. Oh, what a save there. And that was a quick reaction save with the right leg of Halak.
Was it ever, considering he hasn't seen a whole lot of action here in this game?
That was the first shot on goal. After facing 6 shots in the first period. And Roy on to center ice. Good pass picked off. And the Panthers come right back in with Gomez in front of Barge. A shot. That's blocked. Bodies fly. There's a stick in the goal crease, and now it's covered by Halak.
A good sprawling play there by Roman Polak as well.
Stay with us. We'll talk to Hitch after this short timeout on Fox Sports Midwest.
Hitch, you talked before the game about having to have patience against this club. Is that what you're trying to get your club to get a little more patient?
Well, I don't know. To us, when we play the right way, Bernie, we're really effective. But we're not going to win if we keep turning it over in the neutral zone, trying to make the extra play. When we play down there, we do a great job. We funnel it, we keep it down there, we really occupy that zone, we're in great shape. We try to make the extra play or we're cute through the neutral zone, they just are in the track meet, and they skate better than anybody we played this year. And they're going to be dangerous if we keep falling into that, just like that last shift there before the timeout.
Thanks, Hitch.
And Hitch told us he does not want to get into that track meet game. He spells it up pretty succinctly, doesn't he, Darren?
Yeah, and the bottom line to this is, and we'll keep our eye on between the two blue lines, it's the neutral zone play that he's not pleased with, and that message gets sent on the bench rather quickly. So the Blues just have to tighten up that area of the ice, because once they get it in the offensive zone, then things are good and they generate a lot of action.
Blues still lead 1-0. They have played 7 minutes here in the second period. Puck back of the Blues goal comes to Boyes. Trying to feed it in front of Barkov. The 18-year-old had one whack, but it never did get on goal. Back is the other way now for Steen. Blues turn it over, though, and here comes Boyes. 2-on-1 with Barkov. Here's Boyes waiting patiently, a shot, and that rained the goal post. As he had a lock beaten wrong side and hit the post. On a 2-on-1.
Good patience there by Boyes, but it's a result of another bad line change by the Blues. Puck not in deep enough, and the counter by the Florida Panthers leads to an odd man break.
And Thomas goes for a skate, beats Backus to it. And the puck chipped ahead by Thomas Kopechki. And now on for Gudbranson. He moves in a shot, tipped off the glass. Comes around to Upshaw. Upshaw rolls it low. Gomez, the native of Alaska, can't get it. And now Tarasenko ahead to Berglund. Berglund can't clear it out. Whitney with it, a shot. Tipped on goal, and a save by Halak again. And Leopold up the boards. Nice play at the line by Tarasenko. He springs Berglund. Berglund waits. And a shot by Shattenkirk. Hit a leg in front, ends up back of the goal for Schwartz. And Jaden Schwartz on the cycle. Puts it around the net. Shattenkirk is there. Plays one to Berglund. One centering pass. Now another one blocked. And Eric Gudbranson to the line. Here's a drive by Bouwmeester, and that was tipped wide. And then Schwartz lost his balance, but kept it moving for Tarasenko. And then Bouwmeester had it bounce on him, and the Blues have to clear the zone. And then Bouwmeester once again. Stretch pass for Tarasenko. To the line, to the net, now to Sapuka. He tipped it just wide. Good patience there by Tarasenko. And the Panthers play it off the boards to center ice. Fleischmann down the wing to Whitney. In front. Pietrangelo got back ahead of Versteeg. And he tips one to the far side and then lobbed high by Berglund to center ice. Reeves knocked down by Marcel Gosch. And the Panthers come in. Fleischmann with it. And a save by Halak as he tried to go through the legs. And now Berglund for Sabotka. And he was cut off by Mike Weaver.
Well, Florida has to feel pretty good about their game right now. They've got the Blues somewhat hemmed in there. Blues having a hard time getting it from their own zone into the offensive zone as adjustments get made during the course of a game.
And now it's Gosch ahead for Kulikov. down the far wing. And Reeves comes over. Puck bounces in front. And chipped away by Jackman out of the zone. And it is the veteran Gilbert, former Oiler and Wild player. And pass at the line, hit the lines, and that's a break for Bart. And now it's off the back of the net, the top of the net.
Yeah, hit the shoulder of Halak on the right side and popped up around the top of the net.
Called against the Blues, I think, on Jackman. And a tripping minor. Fans don't like the call. Panthers to the power play.
Blues have killed 7 power plays against them so far. They'll go for 8 in a row here. The stick of Jackman between the legs with the push on Winchester. The referee decides to call it a trip. Brad Boyes back on the ice. And his last shot was a odd man break. And you see he waits and waits and waits and then tries to get the goaltender Halak by surprise. It goes under Halak's glove, off the post, and out. I don't even think that grazed the glove of Yarrow, just cleanly off the post.
Had a career-high 43 goals in 07-08 with the Blues, did Brad Boyes.
He just took that slap shot by Goodbranson right on the wheel.
And the Blues perfect on the kill tonight, 3 for 3. And 7 of 7 on the year.
7 of 7, and they've only given up 3 total shots on goal so far. That's incredible.
Kulikov sends one to the corner. First man back is Bouwmeester. And now Lapierre comes in. End of the line. Branson a shot. That was blocked by Steen and then punched back by Steen to the Florida line. And Dmitry Kulikov, their first round pick in 09, still 22. Again, was kicked out the other night after about 4 minutes of the game. Now Barkov. Kulikov worked down low for Boyes. And Boyes for Huberdeau. Rookie of the year last year. Kulikov across to Campbell. A lot of skill on the ice here for the Panthers. Kulikov into Campbell again. In the circle. Thought about shooting. Over to Huberdeau. And again, fakes the shot. Barkov, a native of Finland, to the line, out of the corner. And Boyes keeps it moving to the outside again. Campbell. Kulikov, and then back to Boyes. Panthers everything on the outside here. Reluctant to shoot it, and Kulikov can't hold it in.
That's too long of a pass right now, late in the period like that. The puck's jumping, as we mentioned earlier in the game. That's a good break for the Blues.
Here are the Panthers. Fleischmann comes back in there. Defers to Gomez. Gomez now back for Gilbert. Gomez in the circle over to Campbell. Campbell a shot. That's blocked by Sabochka.
Good play by Pollock going down, though. No more options for Campbell.
Now Campbell at the line with Fleischmann. Fleischmann trying to penetrate, and a shot tipped by Pollock into the netting. And that goes out of play. Roman had 6 blocks the other night against Nashville.
2 boys from the Czech Republic, Sabotka and Roman Pollock, doing an exceptional job. There he goes down. Now Campbell has to double clutch on that play. Sabotka was nearby as well. Good decisions there by big Roman Pollock, putting his body on the line. And then I think he clipped that last one as well.
Yeah, when you get in so tight there's no room. You can see there were eight players in that little area there right in front of the slot.
Yeah, Blues did a really good job of really forcing the Panthers to overpass, huh, Bernie?
Yeah.
And Berglund wins the face-off. That should do it. Jackman is out of the box. Another kill, and another kill with no shots against. As Jaden Schwartz gets to a loose puck. Schwartz a feet in front. Hit Pietrangelo cutting in. Never got there. And now the Panthers break it up. And the helmetless Kopechki gets it to center ice. Pietrangelo slides it right back in there. Tarasenko on the attack. Gets some support there from Schwartz. And a shot. Rebound. It's gone. Tarasenko knocks in the rebound. It's 2-0.
Good shift all the way around. Jaden Schwartz got in there to nullify the icing. Spun on a dime, tried to make a little feathery pass, but it was nullified by Upshaw. But the Blues stay with it. And Pietrangelo, with that pass, goes all the way down the ice. Tarasenko's in on it right there on Goodbranson, then goes to the front of that. It looked at this point like the goalie Thomas had it in his glove. And as he swings around, he thinks he's got it in his glove. And then he doesn't. Tarasenko just swings at it. It looked to me like Thomas Thomas was looking at the referee like he thought there was some kind of interference, but the bottom line was the puck was not in his glove.
Well, Tarasenko, he might have been nervous on opening night. That'll settle the nerves. His first goal in 18 games going back to last year. Darren, they might look at this. I thought there might have been a high stick there.
You know, that's interesting from that point of view. I just thought that Thomas just whiffed on it and went off the webbing of his glove and just out. I mean, I personally saw nothing wrong with that situation. I think the referees feel the same way.
I agree, Panger. There's nothing wrong with that. That was just a bad play by Tim Thomas.
He didn't catch the puck, and Tarasenko picked up the loose change. 2-0 Blues. The goal at 12:31.
I think this line has had a real strong game. And that's going to be a minor penalty on the Florida Panthers. Delay of game minor penalty on Kulikov as he flips the puck over the glass and out of play. And now the Blues will be able to maybe take this 2-0 lead and extend it as Kulikov goes to the wrong penalty box.
I don't know how you do that, but they're usually on the same side as your bench. But the goal by Tarasenko from Schwartz and Pietrangelo at 12:31. And the Blues 1 for 2 in the power play with a 2-0 lead. Tarasenko. With Stewart and Roy. Goes to Roy down low. Out high, Steen. He walks the line and a drive and a save by Thomas.
What a wrister that was.
And Steen came in but couldn't get it. And now Marcel Gox back to center ice. And he delayed it a bit, and that put Winchester in offside. Let's go down to Bernie Federko.
Well, I love the movement. You talked just before about Alex Steen getting shots from the point, but that's what's being left open right now. The Blues really great time moving the puck around. You can see here down deep, and then you can see Roy just with a little ditch, and you can see, look at how much room that Alex Steen has at the top when the shot comes through. Unfortunately, Tim Thomas makes the play there, the save on it, but I love the way that the points are being left open and the Blues are able to settle things down, get the puck back there, and get some shots to the net.
And big number 25 in front of the net, Stewart.
Tarasenko, nice move at the border line, gets it into Shattenkirk, but Gudbranson blocks it and clears it high, and this goes the distance.
Gudbranson got stung in their opener, blocking a shot, had a big welt in the stomach area there, but he was able to continue on. They took a lot of pride in their shot blocking in their opener, 24 total right there, and their head coach Kevin Deneen said that's the identity of their team.
And Berglund down his off wing. He pulls up and a hard drive and a good save there by Thomas. And he got the glove up and it goes out of play.
Well, interesting thing about Tim Thomas, I was talking to him this morning about the equipment that he's wearing, and the pads there's no name. They're generic. It's not a company. It's a good buddy of his that makes some goaltending equipment in the Michigan area. He was raised and born in the Flint, Michigan area. And all it says is Thomas on both legs. That's it, Bernie. And I said, you can call him no name. He goes, we can't call him anything. There is no name to them. This is my goalie equipment.
Yeah, they're not licensed by the National Hockey League, but sometimes I think in the near future we may see that, Panger, when he's all said and done.
And Aaron, why at age 38 would he just take a complete year off?
Because he was absolutely exhausted and overwhelmed with all the pressure and everything that went with it in Boston. I had a good talk with him this morning about that.
Late in this power play, the Blues win at Berglund, and that was knocked away. Now ends up back of the goal, David Backes, with the first goal of the year the other night.
I think out of gas is the right way. Sapped everything out of him. Tired of getting videotaped everywhere he went, every comment that he made. And I remember some of the comments he made, just politically speaking, and it was just too much for him. He needed to get away.
And a drive by Bouwmeester and a save by Thomas. Of course, Thomas did not go to the White House to meet President Obama after the Bruins won the Cup in 11. And that created some, I guess, controversy, if you want to call it that. But it's his right not to go.
Yep. I'll say this with all that aside, because I know he was criticized for a lot of that. I mean, he's been nothing but a pro. Whenever I've dealt with him, he's fun to talk about hockey-wise. He takes his position very seriously.
Sorokin and Schwartz with a brilliant shot, and Jaden Schwartz is first of the year.
wicked wrister that is. Boy, Schwartz has been firing the puck from the beginning of camp. Has worked hard on his strength and conditioning. He's fixed up his twigs a little bit more, and this is just a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. First forecheck, Sobotka gets in there. You see Oshie, he peels away. Puck goes right to Schwartz, and Schwartz just elevates it beautifully. Over the stick of Gilbert, over the glove, under the bar and in. Fantastic play.
His first of the year. Had 3 goals in preseason, and Jaden Schwartz with the goal at 15:07, and the Blues lead 3-0. So the kids, Tarasenko and Schwartz, have lit the lamp in the second period.
And interesting right now, on that shift, Brendan Morrow on the ice with Schwartz and Vladdy Sobotka as Ken Hitchcock tweaks things around here. That's a good stripping of the puck there by Sobotka. And Sobotka now has a goal and 1 assist to start the campaign.
And the Blues enjoy a 3-0 lead. Shot to the game, 23-10 for St. Louis. And the puck up the far side, and Brendan Morrow, who scored the Blues' first goal, he gets it free at center ice, has to deke around a Aaron Stick on the ice. And the Panthers have a chance to clear it, but they can't. And now Whitney plays one to the corner for Gudbranson. And that's tipped away by Versteeg back in the blue zone. And Pollock, the first man back. The Blues were great last year on Saturday nights. 7-0-1 last year on Saturdays. It's their long-time traditional night of the week. They must like it, Darren.
Love it. Who doesn't love Saturday nights?
Blues hockey game and a goal by Schwartz. It's all coming together now.
Blues out shooting Tim Thomas and the Panthers 23-10 late in the second period right now. And Tarasenko starts things off in the second period. A puck going towards the net. Should have been gloved by Thomas. He kind of fans on it. Tarasenko's there. This is just a quick bang-bang play. And Sobotka makes a terrific pass on the forecheck, picks it off, gets it right to Schwartz, and the Schwartz is with him with that high sniper.
Nice. And he came on strongly last year. 6 goals in his last 20 games for Jaden Schwartz. Now the Blues in front here. And it's 3-0. Make it 4-0 now with the goal by Roy.
Crafty little play behind the net. And we've seen that in the NHL so far. A little bit more room behind. Plays happen a little quicker. And Stewart feeds the puck to the left-handed Roy, and Roy just snipes it on the stick side. The battle by Morrow, and he takes his man right there. Keep your eye on 25 in the blue. He gets it, Stewart. Quick little pass right there, and as Thomas is going to his right, the pass goes on the same side, and this one has eyes. Barely any room on that stick side, and it finds its way.
His second point tonight. First goal as a St. Louis Blue, and it's 4-0. So 3 goals in less than 4 minutes here. Now the Blues attack it again. Picked up by Oshie. Oshie back of the goal to Backes. To Leopold, a drive, and a save there by Thomas. Alexander Steen, good pass back. Leopold lets it go, big rebound to Steen. And that hit the crossbar with Thomas down and out. And Steen almost made it 5-0. Stewart and Morrow get the assist on that goal. So Morrow a couple of points. What a second period for the Blues. Now the Panthers come in. And Gilbert cannot hold it in. Puck make changes, Whitney. He'll delay a bit in his own zone with 2:45 to go in the second period. And now it is Lapierre going for a skate. Bouwmeester to Lapierre again. Up the middle. Fans on the shot. And then he collides with Barch on the far side. And the Panthers lift it out.
This ice has become tilted one way now, fellas.
And a long pass to Lapierre. And that shot was wide by 5 feet.
That was a great pass by Sobotka.
Now Bouwmeester shovels it wide of the goal. And now Lapierre again. At one point in the second, it looked like the Panthers were going to make a charge. It was 1-0, but suddenly the Blues got their game in gear, and they have just hammered Thomas for 3 goals in this period.
Well, and Alexander Steen's had a heck of a game for Ken Hitchcock and the Blues. Again, he leads by example every night. He doesn't need any letter on his sweater to be known as a leader. This one here, the backhander. Thomas is out aggressive on the first one, and he just sprawls back, but it's over top of him, and it hits the crossbar dead on. A severe angle, and Steen just misses. Had a goal, of course, a power play goal in the first game against Nashville to solidify that 4-2 win.
4 shots to lead the Blues. You don't have to worry about his effort night in and night out.
Never. Self-motivated, workmanlike, mature player. Fun to watch every night. We're lucky.
2 minutes left here in the second. And now it is Mike Weaver. Panthers came into town Thursday after the game in Dallas, and they're staying here till Monday. They're going to go to the Rams-Jacksonville game tomorrow.
Yep, they'll be there tomorrow. A little team bonding instead of heading to Philadelphia. And they don't open till next week against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And their first 4 on the road.
I always found it good, and Bernie, I'm sure you would agree. Getting on the road early in the season, especially getting to know one another, I think it's a good call by Florida. It's not as much fun if you end up losing. The way this game is going, that's good news for the Blues, bad news for their day at the Rams game for the Panthers.
Yeah, but you know, it's always great to start on the road as long as you have some success. Because it's really difficult to go on the road, and if you lose all 4 games, then you always say, okay, you're behind the 8 ball going home. But the fact that they won in Dallas on Thursday night makes it a huge difference right now. Yes, they're going to bond for the next couple of days. I'm sure they're not going to be too happy with the way this game has gone so far, but certainly if you can play 500 on the road to start, I think they'll be very happy hockey club.
Of course, the Blues have their first 5 at home. Here's Huberdeau. That shot got on goal and a save by Halak. Blues' first road game is October 17th in Chicago. And that's tipped in by Steen, but an icing call with 1:16 left in the second period.
Ken Hitchcock and his goaltending, you know, he's looking at this rotation and saying, okay, when am I going to get Brian Elliott in the net? But for Jaro Halak right now, you know, Jaro sharpened game 1 as Elliott waits his turn. And not easy. He's only faced 12 shots, Jaro has, and it's tough to stay sharp. He made a good save before Boys rang one off the pipe. Made a real good save while the game was 1-0.
Yeah, from when he moved from his left to his right, It was a big save.
He was.
As Oshie tips to center, Steen picks it up, and a clear-cut breakaway. Steen pulls out, lucky penalty shot. I think it will be a penalty shot for Steen.
Seen a couple already early in the regular season, and this will be a penalty shot for Steen.
We've already had 4 in the first week of the season.
Huh, missed one of them. Okay, 4 of them. This is 5 then? Well, for Steen, you know that Tim Thomas will come out aggressively. He'll try to lure you into a deke. We'll see if Steen can't open up the goaltender a little bit.
Most exciting play in hockey. Steen against Thomas. Steen backhand scores! What a play!
Simple, effective move by Steen. After Goodbranson takes down Steen on a potential breakaway, we'll go back to the actual infraction first. Goodbranson got turned the wrong way. Now he reaches in right here, and he clearly trips him up, and Steen can't get an opportunity. He's in there clean. Here's the penalty shot. Forehand, backhand, and easily buries that past Tim Thomas there with a nice little move.
That's the best move for any left-hander. If you can get the speed, you can stutter step the goaltender. He has no chance on that play.
I totally agree with you, Bernie. I was at the other end of that move a lot. You can never get your glove down there, nor can you get your pad down there quick enough. But you have to sell the first one.
Yep, you have to freeze him.
Yep.
5-0. Steen's penalty shot goal at 19:03.
4 unanswered goals in the second period alone.
And there's a buzz here at Scottrade for good reason. Ripped wide by Leopold. And now Ryan Reeves comes in. Captain Kirk at the line and drive. Oh, Thomas barely got a piece of that. It almost came in front of Mora. Remember, these boards here at Scottrade were replaced a few years ago and are very active. Blues, Lapierre hit back of the goal.
Yeah, Lapierre caught Weaver by surprise, knocked him over, got the puck, and that will end 40 minutes of hockey here at Scottrade. And what a dominating second period. Tarasenko, Schwartz, Derek Roy, and Alex Steen on a penalty shot lead the Blues to a 5-0 game so far.
And the shots, 14-6 in the first, 14-6 in the second for the Blues. Pat Paris, what a game so far.
Oh, what a last 8 minutes to that second period, J.K. and Pangers. The Blues score 4 goals in that final 8 minutes, and they lead at 5-0 after 2 periods of play over the Florida Panthers, and it is a buzzing here at Scottrade Center for sure. Nothing better than, of course, a penalty shot, and Alex Steen converts on that penalty shot for the Blues. Coming up, we're going to hear from Jaden Schwartz, who had a goal and assist in that second period. Also, the highlights of Bernie Federico will join me to break those down, and our dirt cheap shot of the game. As you see, the onslaught of the Blues offense, scoring 4 in that second period. They have a 5-0 lead. Keep it here on your home of the Blues, Fox Sports Midwest.
Big Al McInnes, a statue out front of Scottrade. He'd love a 5-0 lead for St. Louis Blues. John and Darren back in the broadcast booth. And Darren, we talked about the Bacchus line in opening night, the great night they had tonight. It's been some other folks, and we told you this club is pretty deep offensively.
Very deep, and it's great to see players like Vladdy Tarasenko, who's worked hard in camp and started slowly in game 1 against Nashville, but got really going in the certainly in the second half of that game. But it leads us to our charter high-speed shot. Why wouldn't that one be one? What a snipe that is. Bar down, a howitzer, quick wrister, and then you've got a great play here by Stewart to Derek Roy. And Roy slides it in. So it's not a howitzer, not the quickest one, but it is right on the mark inside the pipe and in the net.
So the Blues take a 5-0 lead into the third period. Here they come again, and a shot by Steen goes up high, and that is caught by the backup goaltender, Jacob Markstrom, who takes over in goal for Tim Thomas.
Well, Markstrom is the goaltender that they're developing for the future. You know, so Tim Thomas comes in on a 1-year deal. Scott Clemenson has been injured starting camp, so not ready. And Markstrom, though, has got a high upside. Big guy, about 6'5", and obviously covers a lot in that. Very athletic goaltender.
Now the Panthers, and a shot by Gomez, turned away by Halak. Last year, the Blues were 19-2 and leading after 2. Kopechki a feet in front, and that is blocked by Steen. And here he comes again, now on for Oshie, 3-on-3. Oshie to Steen, looks for the late man. And that is Berkman. That pass tipped away, and it goes back to the 4-goal. 4-goal second period. The Blues scored 4 goals in a period 1 time last year. That was in Calgary at a 5-2 win.
And I was surprised at one point, scoring 4 goals in about 7.5 minutes, that there was never a timeout being called during that onslaught.
And Barch comes in, fans on that. And now a centering pass. Matthias is chased to the corner. Or rather, Winchester goes to Tarasenko, and he scoops it high for Schwartz.
And this is where the Blues have to be real sharp here, because you know that Panthers head coach Kevin Dineen and the veteran players would have really, they would have really been vocal, disappointed in what's going on, and they likely are saying to themselves, let's win a period, we'll have some fun tomorrow at the Rams game. So got to be on your toes, Bernie. You got to be aware of everything, otherwise you get yourself flat-footed.
Now, this is a team that's not going to quit. They're a young team, and they certainly want to prove themselves so they get more ice time. It's all about ice time these days.
A couple of years ago, in Dineen's first year, they won the Southeast. But then last year, things fell apart and finished last overall. And the Blues come back, and here's Stewart. Stewart, Roy, and Mora. And they click tonight in front. Derek Roy, a great chance, and he put that one, I think, off the pad of Markstrom. And the Panthers get it for Steve to center ice for Gotch. And the former Shark will dump it in. Jackman for Polak. Blues are changing. Polak is chased back by Barkov. Again, the second overall pick. And stolen by Lapierre to Reeves. He comes in a hard shot, and that's turned away with a blocker of Markstrom. And now Boys on the counter. And the former Blue, little backhander, that was blocked. Now Boys again, whistles that one high. And off the glass, and now back to center ice. Sobotka takes a hit. Ducks under the check. Here's Reeves, 2-on-1 now. Shoots, he scores! What a shot by Reeves, it's 6-0.
Holy jumping, what a shot that was. The big tough right winger from Winnipeg just lets this rip under the bar and in. That's top cheddar like you read about right there. What a play by Sobotka to get around Weaver, and then Reeves is waiting and waiting and waiting. I thought he was going to go back over to Sobotka. Lapierre's driving hard to the net. No, but instead, he goes under the bar and in. Great shot.
You know, there wasn't a lot of room there.
No, there wasn't. Well, the goalie's 9 feet tall. There's not much room at all, but you know, one thing that Ken Hitchcock and all the coaches have worked on with players, and in fact, he talked about Ryan Reeves today, saying, hey, there's no more laughing and goofing around when you miss the net in practice. It's not acceptable anymore. You got to shoot to score. Well, that was a good example of it there.
Reeves didn't miss the net there. He got it over the shoulder of the 6'6" Markstrom to make it 6-0. And how about Sobotka? Gets the primary assist. He made the play and ducked under a check.
Well, Weaver thought that he had him dead to rights on that hit, and there's Sobotka just ducks down low, and Weaver goes into the boards, and Sobotka carries on.
And he has a couple of assists tonight, does Sobotka. Last year, Ryan Reeves had a career-high 4 goals. Panthers center it. That was intended for Upshaw, and a diving play by Backus, and it goes the distance.
Bernie, I don't know why that wasn't icing there.
I agree, but he waved it up immediately. I guess he felt the Florida defenseman could have got to it.
Although that rule was changed this year, Bernie, you must touch it. But I guess he did rule he could have played it.
That's the only thing I could see. And from here, there's no way he could have. But
in front, Tarasenko. Unbelievable play. Berglund makes it 7-0.
And the big Swede gets in on the action. He's had a strong game. Both ends of the ice. He's closed in on 100 career goals. All about behind the net here. And Whitney gets stripped of it with the puck, but a diving effort by Schwartz behind the net to Tarasenko. Watch this effort. It's coming right here, right there. Strong play there by Schwartz. And then Tarasenko's got his head up. He knows where Berglund is, and it's an easy tap in.
And that goal at 4:09. Berglund's first. And the Blues lead by a touchdown. Here's Boys a shot. Penalty coming up here. Interference against the Blues and Roy.
And Derek Roy is going to go off 11 goals by 10 different players this season. Steen the only one with a pair. You're talking about Bernie getting it in all areas, huh?
it really is. It's really incredible. And they talked about this before the start of the season. This is offense by committee. They're not counting on just one person or one line. And there's a lot of depth, and we're certainly seeing that. I mean, it's only the second game of the year, but it's been pretty impressive.
And the Panthers go on the power play. Roy is going for interference. Panthers 0 for 4 tonight. I mentioned Reeves had 4 goals last year. And going back to last year, he has now scored 3 goals in his last 4 regular season games. And with shots like that, he might score a few more.
You know, what's incredible, John, is the fact is that there's 7 goals been scored, and the Backus line, who had 5 points in game 1, doesn't have any in this game.
Well, the Steen goal is a penalty shot goal, but obviously it was scored with the other guys on the bench during the penalty shot. So it's quite impressive. Kulikov gets it. For Goodbranson. Handcuffed him and swatted off the boards by Pollock. And at the Florida line. And then Gomez drops it back. You know, it's interesting, guys. The game obviously now is out of hand, but like the opening night victory against Nashville, Bernie, when you talked to Ken Hitchcock in the second period of both games, he was not enthralled with the way the Blues were playing at that time. And it seems like right after the interview you did both nights, the team just turned it around.
Bernie, it's your magic.
So you crediting me that, JK? Do I get credit?
In an indirect way, absolutely.
You know what? I'll keep that in mind and I'll mention it.
Mention that to Hitch, but
that's why you got a statue out front, Bernie. But I would say this, there were more times in the Nashville game where there was concern defensively.
Yes.
They had more sustained pressure, and they controlled the flow for several moments of that hockey game. This has not been the case. Only, what are the shots now? Only 13 shots on goal?
And when you consider that the Panthers had 3 shots on their first shift.
Yes.
So since then, they've only had 11 shots. And they've had 5 power plays, too.
First time scoring 7 or more goals since March 30th against the Red Wings that are in the same division as the Florida Panthers.
It's a touchdown. We're ahead.
Panthers, again, no shot to the power play. So the Blues have killed off all 5 tonight and are 9 for 9 in 2 games. Here's Gotch down low for Florida. And now Kopechki back on the line to Mike Weaver. A shot up high, and Halak takes that one against the chest. And no rebound.
Key there, no rebound. You're right about that. Like Velcro on the body of Halak on that one.
Time for a Bommarito Automotive Sports update. Wednesday night, the defending Stanley Cup champs come to town tonight. Chicago hosting Tampa. This is Brandon Saad on the power play in the second period. Makes it 2-0 Blackhawks. That's where they stand right now in the third. J.K. Panger, back to you.
And that game will be shown on NBC Sports Network. We're back a week from tonight against the New York Rangers, who opened the season with, is it 9 in a row in the road, I believe?
Yes, that's right. And that's Rivalry Wednesday right there. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are in Chicago tonight. John Cooper, the former St. Louis Bandit head coach, trailing by 2 in the third.
Whoa, what a hit that behind the goal by Morrow. And a Panther player is down. That's Weaver.
Down goes Weaver.
Or something like that. And the former Blue gets to the bench. He's a tough customer.
Yeah, he is.
He was cut in 2 places the other night. Once in a fight, and appears to be okay at the Florida bench. Now, Matthias to center ice. Can't get through the defensive setup by the Blues as Oshie blocked it. On for Steen. And Steen has scored on a penalty shot tonight. That's back in offside.
Well, Brendan Morrow gets in on the forecheck, and just because it's a 7-0 contest, it's not going to shy away from a big hit here. And you see him on the left side behind the net. The puck doesn't actually, I think he thinks the puck's going to get to Weaver, and he does get him on the side. Otherwise, if it's straight on, it's a real dangerous, potentially dangerous hit. But it is on the side. He pushed him off to the one area. I think Weaver wasn't happy because he never touched the puck, did he?
It was close, very close to being interference. And now we get an icing call with 12:03 left in the third period.
Well, he talked to Bradshaw, who runs the D for the St. Louis Blues, and he will say firsthand that Mike Weaver is one of the smartest defensive hockey players that he's ever coached. He just has just such great awareness on Bernie. He just reads and reacts, uses a long stick, but he's always in the middle of things.
Yeah, for a guy that doesn't skate that quick, I mean, it's amazing how positioned he is all the time. He loves to block shots.
Here's a drive for the point by Fleischmann. You see the Panthers celebrating their 20th year in the NHL this year. Came in 93. Of course, they went to the finals in 96 to the Panthers. And he's swept by Colorado. Back on the line now for Leopold. That shot blocked. And he holds it in now for Reeves. The coach of that team was Doug McLean, the former assistant coach with the St. Louis Blues under Jacques Martin. Now Leopold to center. Panthers chip it back in. Steen trying to catch him on a change and a high rising shot over the shoulder of Markstrom. And now back on the goal. Steen engaged with Weaver. And then Backus over there. But the Panthers get it. And number 57, Marcel Dodge, who is signed as a free agent. Turned over at center ice. Numbers back into Backus. Backus for Oshie and a diving play by Dodge. Well, that could have been 8-0. Out of the slot for Oshie. Backhand shot. And that was stopped in front by Weaver. And Versteeg will chip it in. Jackman gets there quickly ahead of Versteeg. And then the Blues captain is chased back by Campbell. Shots in the game, 32-16. Great chance. And Halak got over and made a save on Gomez. And that was his toughest test in a long time.
And that Gomez is so good at going to his backhand, too. Very little curve on his stick. What a play by Halak.
Now stolen by Schwartz. In front. Berglund had it bounce on him. Pietrangelo. Blocker save. Markstrom comes around to Bouwmeester. And now glove down by Schwartz. He deals it back to Pietrangelo. And he waits to his partner Bouwmeester. To Berglund, a one-timer. And he scuffed that one wide. Now Schwartz again. Schwartz to the back door. He had Bouwmeester cutting it. It was blocked.
You could see that developing from here. It just had to be in the air a slight bit longer.
Now Berglund gets it from Schwartz. Tarasenko and a shot. Again, it's stopped at the Panther defense. This Florida has gotten real sloppy in the last 15 minutes of this game. And a lot of that is because of the Blues forecheck. And a hit back of the goal, Leopold knocking Barch down. And it trickles back in the Florida zone. And now Gilbert to center ice. Tipped along by Barch. And then knocked down by Shattenkirk and off a stick and out of play. And now Morrow having words at center ice with a Florida player. That is Barch. 7-0 Blues in the third.
Hitchcock having a conversation with his captain, David Backus, but just before that, even though it's a 7-0 game, always significant to saves. And Scotty Gomez comes in, a little forehand, a look backhand, reaches out there, and Jaro Halak gets that glove down there. Does he get the pad down there, or does it hit the post? Just the side of the net. And then the second one would have gone in, and that's where Jaro got his glove in there, not putting on the play. And now, as that's going on, Chris Barch had already gone over towards Brendan Morrow, and I think that's trying to send a message about this hit that Morrow had on Weaver behind the net a while ago. But Chris Stewart, he steps in there, and now he's stepping in with Goodbranson as well, and he's making sure that he protects his line mate, Brendan Morrow. But I think Barch and Stewart are going to be going for the 9 minutes and 19 seconds left. Keep your eye with Goodbranson. Goodbranson goes over to Morrow to say something to him, and this is all about the hit. And now Stewart goes right over there. So here's Barch, 21.
And you know, Panger, Barch was yapping at Stewart as he went by the bench just before he went to that timeout. So you could, and Stewart was yapping back. So Goodbranson stepping in.
And now we have Reeves involved, and everybody's involved.
Well, they booted Stewart out, so Ken Hitchcock has that choice to get a player on the ice. And he throws in Ryan Reeves out there.
And as you said, going to break, it was Barch and Morrow. Of course, they were teammates in Dallas. And Goodbranson and Morrow have each other. And here is how it began with a shot by Reeves on Upshaw.
Yeah, Upshaw came on a late change, and because he was replacing Barch, so he gets out there, and as he gets out there, Ryan Reeves through the, watch his bang, he just gave him a little push and gave him his left glove and put it up and got him right in the chops. Well, I'm going to put another right winger out there.
Well, this makes the game in Florida on November 1st a little bit more meaningful. Of course, every year from now on, the Blues will play home and home with every team in the East. They'll have 32 total games against the East this year.
14 teams in the West, 16 teams in the East.
So 16 times 2, I believe, is 32.
I agree with you on that one. That's my Canadian math. Yours too. But I would say that we're probably going to have to add a couple more teams in the West at some point, aren't we, partner?
Yeah, at some point you would think they'd have to even it out. Well, Kevin Dineen was a man of a lot of character as a player, and you know he does not like the score, and probably didn't like the hit on Mike Weaver.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's check replay, brought to you by BMO Harris Bank. And shot, save, and there's the rebound right there by the veteran, the former captain of the Dallas Stars, Brendan Morrow. How much did Pittsburgh think of him when they acquired him last year at the deadline? They gave up a first-round pick of theirs. Another Morrow, Joe Morrow. He eventually doesn't get re-signed by Pittsburgh and available to his former coach, Ken Hitchcock, who was tough on Brendan Morrow when Brendan broke in as a rookie, and Ken Hitchcock made him earn every bit of the ice time that he got. Brendan Morrow became one of the real revered leaders in the game and still is to this day.
In his first year, Morrow and the Stars went to the finals and lost to the Devils. And our good friend, former Blue Jason Arnott, scored the winning goal in the 2000 Stanley Cup Finals in overtime.
And I'm hoping that the referee doesn't go over to Ken Hitchcock like what happened in the preseason with the Buffalo Sabres, where Ron Rolston got, remember, fined $10,000 for managing what player was on the ice. And that was that Big John Scott,
who went after the Toronto Maple Leaf
Phil Kessel.
skilled guy, Phil Kessel.
I mean, from a coach's point of view, they're thinking, wait a second, I can't put somebody on the ice now?
So Morrow gets a minor, and the Panthers on the power play.
Oh, good pressure right there by Pietrangelo. Terrific read on Huberdeau. Gave him no room whatsoever on the half boards. And then with Pietrangelo's play, Steen's right there, and they're able to clear the zone.
By the way, Reeves picked up a 10-minute misconduct, and Morrow gone for roughing, so Florida 0 for 5 in the power play. Under 9 to play here in the third period. Happy birthday to Nicholas Berry, 6 years old, a big Blues fan.
6 years old, huh?
The Blues have scored more goals than your age tonight.
And happy birthday, Nicholas.
And diving play by Sabotka, kept in by Campbell. Down low to Huberdeau. Trying to get a shot through, but Bouwmeester would have none of that. He denied it and fired it off the boards down the ice.
Not only the first pickoff, but strong on his stick, and wasn't going to be denied.
You mentioned the name Nicholas. I want to say hello to my nephews, Nicholas and Joey, that just texted me they're watching Fox Sports Midwest in Kelowna, BC, guys.
In Kelowna, BC?
Kelowna, BC, yeah. So hi, Nick. Hi, Joey.
Oh, who doesn't love Kelowna, BC, huh, Bernie?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's almost as beautiful as Ottawa.
Beautiful part of the country. Now it is Whitney coming in. And that's on goal. And Yarrow bobbles it a bit, but covers. Well, Student Knights are back this year. And the first one comes your way Tuesday against San Jose. That's the 15th. Just present a valid student ID at the Ford box office, and you can get a ticket for as low as $22. That is the 5th of 5 straight at home for the Blues to open the year. Now Gomez for Barkov. Barkov is from Finland, but his dad, a native of Russia, his dad was a former player in the Russian league and then moved to the Finnish league, and that's why Barkov was born in Finland. Here's Whitney, backdoor feed to Gomez. And
what a pass by Whitney. Oh boy, that was an empty netter.
And now Barkov again in the circle, right on goal, saved by Halak, and cleared by Backes off the boards to center. Panthers had 2 shots, and Morrow's out of the box.
Good save there by Halak.
And we get another penalty. And I think it's against Steen.
Blues getting into some penalty trouble here late in the game. Even though it's a 7-0 game, you still want to preserve that goals against. There's the pass right off the heel of the stick of Gomez. I was looking at Gomez's stick today in their locker room, Bernie, and actually Gomez told me, he says, some nights I like the longer stick, and some nights I like the shorter one. That stick of Gomez is about 9 feet long, and the angle of the blade on the ice, it's about a 3, Bernie. That is as low and no curve whatsoever.
That's probably why he missed that one there. He needed his other stick, the shorter one.
And Steen goes for slashing. Panthers 0 for 6 with 2 shots total. And Campbell back to get it. Under 7 to play here in the third. The Blues up 7-0. And the Panthers feed one to the line. Gilbert comes over there. And now Pietrangelo trying to clear it out of the zone. Get some help from both Saputka and Lapierre. And there's a great example of the Blues and their philosophy killing penalties. When one guy goes, they all go.
Yep. And you just have to be on your toes. You have to read and react so quickly. If you're right, if one guy's not pulling on the rope there, you're going to have an opening.
And that's what Lapierre said. The biggest difference is between the Blues' philosophy and what they did in Vancouver. He said they're a lot more aggressive in their own zone on the kill. Well, the Blues clear it down the ice. Markstrom on in relief of Tim Thomas. As Thomas gave up 5 goals on 28 shots through 2 periods.
Another thing about that Barkov you were talking about, Shattenkirk played against him last year in Finland. So Shattenkirk spoke up at the penalty kill meeting talking about the power play and talking about some tendencies of Barkov that he remembered from the lockout last year when Shattenkirk was in Finland. So it's always a good help when you've got that information from their players that actually played against them.
Any information is good information. Under 6 to play here in the third period. And tonight's Ford game summary. Schwartz's first ever 3-point night.
Good for Jaden Schwartz. He worked hard all summer. He's endeared himself to his teammates. He's a crafty player. He's all over the puck. Self-motivated, funny guy. The guys love him, don't they?
And again, has really worked hard on the shot. And Darren, we've noticed it from the start of camp.
Yep.
He is really, and he's got some new sticks that he loves and is just really snapping the puck.
Nothing like getting a good pattern, huh, Bernie? That you just love, and you can't wait to get the stick on in your hands, the puck in your hands.
It's important. I mean, when we look at equipment, no matter what equipment you're wearing, whether it's your skates, your shin pads, but with the sticks especially, if you've got the proper line, the proper curve that you feel very confident that you can not only shoot and make passes, it makes a huge difference. And we really, and I agree with you guys, I've really noticed the difference with Schwartzy, because he actually, I mean, the puck comes off like a rocket off his stick now, which is what you want to have when you're, especially when you're a winger.
I think he's more explosive in small areas, though.
Oh,
he's elusive. He's more elusive because he's stronger.
Yep, absolutely. He's put on some weight and he's much stronger.
And the Panthers, Upshaw stands on it, now dumps it in offside. Steen is back. And again, another shotless power play for the Florida Panthers. All Blues tonight in Game 2 of the season, 7-0.
Is that big Roman Polak on the left with that old Steiner's wiener hat? And Ryan Reeves right there on the right? Well, Reaver's out of this game. So Yarrow's not out of this game. Now he's made 19 saves, made some gems here in the third period.
Hasn't had a ton of work.
Nope.
But I'd say 6-7 point-blank opportunities.
I was going to send him a latte down there early in the second period just to make sure he was sharp and awake with some little caffeine. Tough down there when you're a goalie and nothing happens. You know what happens? I can tell you firsthand, Bernie. Goalies start thinking. Then what happens? Then it's no good after that.
It's a tough, I tell you what. I mean, we all know how tough a job it is to be a goaltender, but you know, when you go for stretches of 7 or 8 minutes without stopping a shot, you really got to keep your sanity, I guess, even more in your concentration.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know you're going to get some more.
It's tougher when it's just a 1-0 game and the other goalie stand on his head. At least it's a 7-0 whitewash so far here.
Well, winning's the most important. I mean, you want to get the win, but certainly, hey, shutouts, 1-goal games are all important for the goaltenders. and for the team for that matter.
Yarrow's proven to be a quick starter out of the gates. He's 9-3-3 career on opening night.
And was real good in the 4-2 win. And solid tonight in a 7-0 lead. To the deep slot, Sabotka. And then Schwartz. Well, this line has gotten better since the opening period of game 1. Just every period, it seems they picked it up. And a hit there by Sabotka. And a drive by Berglund goes wide. Stolen back in the goal by Schwartz. Penalty called on Florida. Schwartz to the line. Jackman. And that drive goes wide. And then Sabotka again away from Whitney. The goalie is off for the extra man here on the delayed penalty. Handed back to Steen now for Berglund. And Berglund in traffic. And now the Panthers do touch it. And a slashing minor. And we get some more extracurricular activity.
Yeah, Sobey went right over there to Fleischman and Versteeg. And Schwartz. Wow.
Unlikely combatants.
Two Western Canadian boys.
I don't think we've seen Schwartz drop the mitts yet.
Nope.
And that'll be a goal and assist and a fight for Schwartz.
I didn't see that one coming.
No.
I thought it was going to be Fleischman and Sabotka, because Sabotka, I had my eyes on him. He went right over to him. And Sabotka with a big hit over there in Versteeg. So why did Versteeg go over to Schwartz then? Why didn't Versteeg, if he was taking exception to the hit by Sabotka, why not go over to Sabotka? Said he grabbed Schwartz.
Well, once again in the summer, Sabotka did a lot of MMA work and is a very good fighter.
Yes, he is. Our Plaza Tire Service. This is super slow-mo here, and the difficult part of this when you're not an experienced fighter is how you fall down and, getting used to, I'm sure, the kind of predicament you're in right there.
Well, the Blues were going to get a power play, and we'll see if that holds true following that fight.
Well, you know what? The great thing about the game of hockey is that the players police themselves. I mean, you have to have the officials out here, but you know what? This is called determination. This is sending a message, whatever it is. Even these teams only going to play 2 times a year. It's still the love of the game that everybody plays, and this is exactly what you see in a situation like this.
Yeah, I would like that a lot better, though, if Versteeg went over to Sabotka. Don't you agree, Bernie? I mean, because that started the whole play, is the hit Sabotka on Versteeg in the far side.
I would totally agree. Now, I don't know if he knew exactly who it was, even Versteeg. I mean, he got rocked pretty good. So he probably knew he's not going to mess with Sabotka, so you're just going to go get whoever you can. I mean, it's always been that way. Whitney went after Sabotka right off the bat after the hit.
And Bernie, now I'm not sure if you can see it across the Panthers bench, but there's something has obviously come out from a fan and something going on there. Security's there.
Yeah, I can't see him. Everybody's standing up, so.
And that looks like our good friend Jay Williamson up here, doesn't it, Bernie, right here?
Well, Jay is definitely at the game.
Yeah.
That is Jay right there. Yes, he is, because he was
PGA professional.
in the Sub-Zero Club down here, so yeah. Oh, they're going to ask him to leave.
And Jay gets ejected from the game.
He's a former hockey player, so he knows what's going on.
Yeah, I doubt it was him, though. Huh?
That could be a first, a PGA golfer getting tossed from a hockey game. Meanwhile, the Blues go on a power play.
Oh, now he owns us a free round at Bell Reeve, Bernie.
Jay is leaving. But again, we were just assuming that something did happen down there.
They got the wrong guy.
They got the wrong guy.
Had to have.
We have no proof. There's nothing on camera.
3 minutes left here in the third period. I think I've seen everything now. Here comes Derek Roy for the Blues. Back to Steen. And then for Shattenkirk. One-timer by Steen right on goal. And a save by Markstrom. As he fought that one through a screen.
Always gets a lot on those, though, doesn't he? He's got good positioning. Even if the pass is off a little bit, it is right in the middle of his blade.
Blues 1 for 3 tonight. And had 2 power play goals on opening night. Drop pass to Berglund. And now for Backus. And the captain gets it back for Oshie. Oshie to the slot. Intended for Steen. Now picked up by Backus. 50 left here in the Blues power play. And it's knocked away by Mathias out of the zone. And Berglund goes back to the Blues. Now on for Oshie. Up the middle, intended for Berglund. Bouwmeester follows up. Another penalty called against Florida. And then Backus. Falling, gets it back for Pietrangelo. The extra man's on the ice. That's Sobotka. Here's Bouwmeester to the front. And now the Panthers touch it. And then Kulikov and Berglund get involved.
.55 left to go, and it can't go by quick enough here at this particular point, John Kelly. Fleischman's going to go off.
And we get...
And it's going to continue on, though, on the far side. Sobotka on the ice. Jesse Winchester, the former Ottawa Senator. It looked like Oshie took a high, whether it was a forearm or an elbow originally. That's why you got to have your guard up at all times. And Backus not happy with Winchester right now, that's for sure. Well, Backus going to be gone for this game. Sobotka getting waved off by the official. Here's the play right here. As that's a flying elbow there, and that's a leaping elbow is what that is. He's reaching out and he's targeting the head area on Oshie on that play by Fleischmann, and he catches him right in the right ear. That's an explosion going upwards, isn't it? You know, you're trying to make a hit like that, kind of reaching out to a player.
You said it right, though. You've got to keep your head up in a situation like this because you never know what can happen when you're up by 7. No harm done there as Oshie saw him coming.
All this really started when Weaver got hit behind the net, and our audio picked up their bench. Florida Bernie, and you can hear them saying, like, is there anybody going to go back at him? Is there nothing going to happen here? Let's recap the goal scoring here. There's a beauty right off the hop here. Stewart, Derek Roy, and the goal scorer, Brendan Morrow. A great shot there by Schwartz after Tarasenko scored. And then a nifty pass there by Stewart to Roy. And too much for the Panthers to handle in this game. What penalty shot, Steen forehand backhand. And although Sobotka wants that puck on the left side, Ryan Reeves buries it high into the bar and in. And then there's Berglund on a great pass from Tarasenko.
Well, the Blues will not get a 5-on-3, so I assume the actions by Backus canceled the Fleischmann minor, so it's a 5-on-4 here with 1:45 left. And now Tarasenko back for Pietrangelo. On to Shattenkirk. And Shattenkirk a drive. That was blocked in front and thrown all the way down the ice with 90 seconds left. And the Blues leading 7-0. And Yarrow's on the verge of making Blues history. More details to follow. Campbell gets it off the glass and back to center ice. And now we're back at full strength. Blues had one shot on that power play. Pollock to center ice. In for Steen, drop pass. And then picked up by Huberdeau. And here come the Panthers. Mathias to the line. In the slot, Pollock back the other way. And he goes for escape. Roman hands it to his partner, Jackman. And ahead for Oshie. It's Oshie, Berglund, and Steed here for the Blues. And now it is Upshaw back to the goal for Florida with 35 seconds left. What a start for the Blues, beating Nashville 4-2. Tonight, a rout of Florida, up by 7 in the final 25 seconds. Jackman now for Oshie. And a bit too leisurely to center ice. And then the Panthers come back in offside, or Barkov would have had a great chance on left wing.
Jaro Halak was getting himself prepared for that shot by Barkov, the Finn. And for Jaro Halak, he's been brilliant against Florida in his career. He came into this game with a minuscule 7-1-0, 1.86 goals against average, stopping 94% of the shots against Florida. Obviously, those games coming as a member of the Montreal Canadiens, many of them. But he hasn't been overly tested, only 19 shots, but he's on the verge of something very special here, because the great Glenn Hall has held the mark for many years.
Panthers get it in front. Gomez, a shot. And now another shutout for Jaro. It's a milestone for a Blues goaltender.
Blues fans, with tonight's shutout, Jaroslav Halak has just passed.
And there it is, most shutouts of all time.
Leader for shutouts by a Blue with 17.
The great Glenn Hall, Mr. Goalie. One of the finest of them all with 16. And in much fewer games, Jaro Halak has been Mr. Shutout here in St. Louis. And he's the all-time leader. Lots of help, goal-scoring support. And the Blues play a complete hockey game here against Florida. A little bit of everything. Fisticuffs, lots of goals. Penalty kill was exceptional. And Jaro Halak has 17 shutouts with the note.
A new team record. As the Blues win it 7-0.
But our Bud Light player of the game, we're going to lead with the Schwartz, because it's with you. I mean, he's got the first career three-point game and Gordie Howe hat-trick.
The game's third star, scoring 1 goal and adding 2 assists, playing at a forward for the Blues, number 9, Jaden Schwartz. The game's second star with 1 goal and 1 assist, playing at a forward for the Blues, number 10, Brendan Morrow. And the game's first star, recording the shutout, playing in goal for the Blues, number 41, Jaroslav Halak.
Jaro, first of all, congratulations. A big win for you guys again, your second win in a row.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy the first period, but we came up big in the second period, and we took it to them. So it's a great win and 2 points. We have to enjoy it, but then we have to get ready for another game.
I know it's just another win, another shutout for you, but a very special shutout tonight. The 17th career shutout as a member of the St. Louis Blues, which breaks the record of the great Glenn Hall. How do you feel about being the leader now all time for shutouts in a St. Louis Blues uniform?
It feels great. I didn't even know that if I have one more shutout, it's going to happen, but it feels great. And but like you say, it's another win, another 2 points, and I'm glad for it.
And for you, Jaro, I know you really took some extra time this summer to make sure that you were ready for the season. Is this the best that you've ever felt? Since you've been a member of the Blues.
I think I feel really good. It has been a long summer. Our strength coach pushed me at times. It was hard, but there's nothing easy in life, so you got to work for everything.
Well, congratulations, and hope you have many more this year.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Back upstairs to you, Pat.
Please join
Bernie, thank you very much. Terrific job, and congratulations to Yaroslav Halak, his 17th career shutout as a Blue, passing Glenn Hall, who had 16 in his great career for the St. Louis Blues. And what a night for the Blues, 7-0 to win over Florida. Back with more on Blues hockey right here on Fox Sports Midwest.